Now, last night we heard how troops from the East Midlands are on peacekeeping duties in Cyprus, but hundreds of other soldiers from Leicestershire and Lincolnshire are also there on standby to fly out to war zones or disasters.
The Royal Anglian 2nd Battalion also protects the British bases where jets took off from to bomb Syria. And as our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports, they haven't forgotten their history.
Commemorating a battle that's a source of pride. This is the poachers' Talavera parade at Decalia in Cyprus, where more than 500 Royal Anglians are currently living beside the sea. They're spending 2 years away from Cottesmore in Rutland, but their traditions are as important as ever.
We pride ourselves on our county links. In the areas of Lincolnshire, Leicestershire, and remember the fallen from many years ago.
It means a lot to the whole battalion, because you just look back at their history 200 years ago and what they went through to get to this point at the moment, and it's just amazing to think.
A lot's changed in the 200 years since the Battle of Talavera. This is how the Anglians are learning how to evacuate British civilians from war zones, dealing with people who've been injured as they come under fire. It's a change too from 4 years ago, when the poachers were facing a deadly threat on the streets of Helmand province, and Steve McTavish from Loughborough was living and working in the Afghan police headquarters.
This tour is very different. Lifestyle here, is absolutely fantastic. We've got the sun, we've got the sea, we've got the beach, we've got water sports here, which the battalion use. With all the adventure training that brings with it, and the guys absolutely love it.
The poachers even have their own beach here, but it's no holiday. That's because the Royal Anglians are here as the regional standby battalion, which means they can be sent anywhere in the Middle East or North Africa at 24 hours notice, at a time when there's still a vicious civil war going on in Syria, just 100 miles or so behind me. And when British jets joined bombing raids in Syria 2 months ago, the Royal Anglians sent reinforcements to protect their airbase here in Cyprus.
They were stood by ready to respond to anything from a public order incident at the front gates of RAF Akatiri all the way through to being ready to maybe deploy if they had to deploy somewhere overseas.
That means training to deal with any trouble like this, as well as more lethal combat operations. And for two brothers from Wigston, there's a very different challenge. Liam Neal's been promoted above his older brother, Ryan.
If I'm on duty and he's around, I will have to give him a task in. We both get on really well. So he's happy for me, But yeah, I think hopefully it will give him a good kick in the backside too.
I finished my time in the battalion on my 50th birthday on parade in Cyprus. What a way to go out as well, which is great.
The Royal Anglians have got another year here in Cyprus before they make the move back to Cottesmore, and in the next few weeks more soldiers from the East Midlands will be arriving here when the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Regiment begins its deployment here. Jeremy Ball, BBC East Midlands Today in Cyprus.